My first budget will be submitted to the Congress next month, and it will include a historic increase in defense spending to rebuild the depleted military of the United States of America at a time we most need it. This defense spending increase will be offset and paid for by finding greater savings and efficiencies across the federal government. We're going to do more with less and make the government lean and accountable to the people. We can do so much more with the money we spend. We spend $6 trillion in the Middle East, and we have potholes all over our highways and our roads. So we're going to take care of that. Infrastructure, we're going to start spending on infrastructure big. And statutorily and for budget purposes, as you know, we have to do health care before we do the tax cut. The tax cut is going to be major, it's going to be simple, and the whole tax plan is wonderful, but I can't do it until we do health care because we have to know what the health care is going to cost, and statutorily that's the... Unfortunately, the budget that we're essentially inheriting, is a mess. The finances of our country are a mess, but we're going to clean them up. Things that we've been doing, including negotiating deals that have already been negotiating, so you call it renegotiating, on airplanes and lots of other things, military items. We'll end up either getting many more planes free or we're going to save a lot of money, but we've already saved a lot. Billions and billions of dollars has been saved. We have enormous work to do as the national debt doubled over the last 8 years. We're going to be spending the money in a very, very careful manner. Our moral duty to the taxpayer requires us to make our government leaner and more accountable. We must do a lot more with less. And we must stop the improper payments, end the abuses, negotiate better prices, and look for every last dollar of save.
Trump's America First budget. President promises a new chapter of greatness as he wields the axe across government to pay for the wall and the military. President Donald Trump's first budget blueprint, out this morning, lived up to the administration's promise that it would be a hard power document, slashing spending in almost every federal department except Defense and Homeland Security. Trump's proposal makes significant cuts to the Health and Human Services and the State Department's budgets to fund his border wall and the military buildup he's been promising. State is being slapped with a nearly 29% reduction that's intended for its foreign aid division, a $10.9 billion decrease from the current fiscal year. HHS will lose out on $12.6 billion in base funds, a 16.2% decrease, if Trump's budget is approved in its current form by Congress. Trump is proposing the dramatic cuts to some agencies so he can put $2.8 billion more toward immigration enforcement in 2018, $2.6 billion of which is being set aside for his border wall, and appropriate an additional $54 billion to defense spending without adding to the federal deficit. "We will begin a new chapter of American greatness," Trump said in an introduction to the document that puts America first. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which provides support to NPR and PBS, the broadcaster of Sesame Street, will also see its funding phased out if Trump's budget makes it past the House and Senate over the objection of both conservatives and liberals. The blueprint does not deal with mandatory spending on entitlement programs such as Social Security or revenue sources, nor does it try to balance the federal budget. Discretionary spending, which came in at $1.1 trillion in 2017, according to Trump's Office of Management and Budget, is reduced by $13.6 billion in 2018, a 1.2% decrease that promotes fiscal responsibility and aims to redefine the proper role of the federal government. It will be up to affected agencies to figure out how to implement cuts, the president's budget director has said. "We've given them a tremendous amount of flexibility within their own agencies this year," OMB Director Mick Mulvaney claimed Wednesday during a briefing for White House reporters. "We've spent a lot of money on housing and urban development over the last decades without a lot to show for it," the cabinet official stated. "Certainly there are some successes, But there's a lot of programs that simply cannot justify their existence, and that's where we zeroed in. Mulvaney said the Department of Transportation and its $12 billion discretionary spending budget is being reduced for the same reason. Among the things funded by the Department of Transportation are Amtrak, the National Passenger Railroad, and subsidies for airports and interstates. Also on Thursday, Mulvaney said the administration will putting out a document that asks for revisions to the 2017 budget and a supplemental request of $30 billion for defense and the border for the current fiscal year, allowing Trump to jumpstart construction on his border structure.